Well, welcome back, my friends all, to another rousing rendition. The Choir Boys Outdoors, a weight loss rendition, something way different than we normally do. Here's the deal. We are a knife channel. It's Choir Boys Outdoors, and we do some of that, and we're going to move into that more. But primarily, we're a knife channel. That's why this is so different. I've lost right at 90 pounds this year. Now, I wanted to wait till I hit 100 pounds to do the video, but I'm getting asked more and more how I did it. Okay. So let me start by saying I want to throw a couple of things out up front. This isn't a product placement sales pitch. This isn't one of those, you can do it. This is just me and you talking, right? I want to be honest with you. I want to be upfront with you. And the only product I'm really going to mention is HelloFresh. I want y'all to understand something. There's three things I want you to understand. One, fat is fat, muscle is muscle. Never the twain shall meet. Fat can't turn into muscle. Muscle can't turn into fat. You need to know that up front. Two, I'm not saying this is the healthiest, best way to do it. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm not trying to put that on you. And three, anybody on this planet can do it. Four, I had to come to a point and place in my life where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of being enormous. I was fed up. I can't tell you how to get there. I had to be there. I've had people say, well, Scab, if I need to lose weight, this isn't a video for you. This isn't a video for people looking to get in great shape. This isn't a video for people who are disciplined. If you're disciplined, you wouldn't get to 370, 375 pounds like I did at my heaviest. Okay? This is a conversation from me to you. First thing I want you to know is this. The reason I bring up the HelloFresh is this. We do that for dinner. That started this whole process. Not because it's super healthy food. Not because it's the perfect dietary meal. Here's what happened. Meg cooks for us every night. She got tired of cooking the same old. We talked about it. She said, babe, I'm going to do it. I said, okay. When she started ordering the HelloFresh, she said, I want to try different things. So together, she and I would go over what we were going to order. We tried some out there stuff, right? Some stuff that wasn't in our comfort zone. And by doing that, we started saying to each other, hey, what's it hurt? Why not? Let's try it. If we don't like it, we don't have. We did that for about 2 months. And that began the mindset, why not? I was at a point and place in my life with my weight that I just thought, man, I'll never be able to get this off. I'm always going to be this size. Blah, 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 blah. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Once we started turning the attitude around to a why not attitude, let's try it attitude. And believe me when I tell you, mentality and diet is everything. What's crazy is this. January 15th, I weighed 320 pounds, right? My dad had just had open heart surgery or was just about to have a triple bypass. My mom was having health problems. At January 15th, I was fine where I was at weight-wise. I wasn't happy, right? But that was the last thing on my mind. Even after seeing my dad, after having his triple bypass, and a guy who had been in shape be that weak, and in my head, I'm like, I'd never make that at this size. January 16th, I walked into my doctor's office. I stepped on the scale and I weighed 320 pounds. This is the part I can't explain to you. The whole mentality of January 15th died January 16th. And I said, and I think I even made a video where I said, I'm going to get this damn weight off. Now, here is the difference in that time and every other time. Because I had, in the past, went from about 320 to 280. You guys have seen it. But I would bounce up. So I can't tell you everything about that doctor's appointment. I can tell you this. I was done. I was fed up. So in my head, I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure it out. I knew two things worked for me because I could lose from 320 to 280. That day, January 16th, I started walking for an hour a day. I just made the time. Some of it's going to be sacrifice. I made the time to walk an hour a day. And trust me, guys, I get up at 4:30. I get home at 6:30 from work. 4:30 a.m., 6:30 p.m. I do the channel. I have very little time. But I said, I'm going to make the time. So immediately that day I started walking an hour a day, right? The other thing that I wanted to do is this. Here, I was going to take it step by step, meal by meal, and change each one. Because here, understand this too. I didn't get to that size overnight. It took time. Most of my life, I've been in pretty good shape. You've only seen me at one shape. You've only seen one chapter in my life. Before that period, I was in pretty good shape. But I had I beat myself down mentally to where, well, this is where we're at. I was going to start walking, and I knew fasting worked. Now listen to me. Again, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm telling you what worked for me. When I say fasting, I simply meant this. From a certain time in the evening to a certain time in the morning, I wasn't going to eat. Now, Megan bought the HelloFresh. She cooked the HelloFresh. She cleaned up the HelloFresh. So in my mind, I said, I'm not going to disrespect her. I'm going to eat that food. Here's where HelloFresh helped me. Again, not super healthy, not saying that, but it was portion control. So my dinner was taken care of. We would eat dinner before 8 o'clock. Now just bear with me, okay? I know I can ramble, but please stay with me. I'd get home. I would eat dinner. She would have dinner usually before 7 o'clock. I would eat dinner. Then I would go walk for an hour, right? Get home, do my stuff. And if I got hungry, I went to bed. That's it. It's weak, I know, but I had to get my thinking going. So I knew those two things would work, but I knew I had to make changes. First thing that happened, I went that way for about 2 weeks, and I was talking to Chad at work. Chad said, dude, quit eating in the morning. I said, bro, he said, just hear me out. Instead of eating the pizza and all the crap you're eating in the morning, get a protein shake. That'll hold you till lunch. This is where the mentality came in. As soon as he said it, I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not? I'm already got my dinner under control portion-wise. I'm walking after that, okay? So I sat down and I took a hard look. I stopped at the store on the way home. I got me about 2 or 3 muscle milks. I told Meg, I said, this is what I'm going to do. She said, are you sure? I said, yep. So for the first 3 mornings that I tried it, I got up. Now remember, I didn't eat after 8 o'clock. About 6 o'clock on my way to work, I would drink my muscle milk. Here's what I found, guys. Here's what I found. It was fine. I ate lunch at 11:30. The mentality, remember that. That's big on this. Because it's not some rah-rah-ree bullshit. You're looking at a guy who has been a drug addict. You're looking at a guy who's done what the hell he's wanted, when the hell he's wanted his whole life. And who was fed up and sick and tired of himself. So I thought in my head, I said, you know what? If it don't work, I can make it to lunch. I can make it 4 hours. What I found out was this, because what Chad said was true in our case. It may not be your case. You might need to do that another meal. But in my case, when I was eating in the morning, I would be hungry all day. But listen to me. Listen to me. Here's what happened. I sat down and took a hard look. I took a hard look at what I was eating. I was eating 2 to 3 pieces of pizza from the racetrack every morning. I was having 2 to 4 hash browns, 2 Snickers bars, 1 in the morning, 1 after break. That was in the morning, guys. Plus 3 or 4 of the Propels, which were about 270 milligrams of sodium. That was, I think when I added everything up, I was having about 4,000 to 5,000 calories in the morning. And I was like, holy shit. I went from that to muscle milk. After those 3 muscle milks, I went to sugar-free muscle milk, which cut calories even more. From there, I swapped over to Slim Fast. So every morning I have a Slim Fast. I do that because it helps me more with appetite suppressant. Again, this may not be for you. This is how I did it. Now you see what I've done. I've changed my dinner. Well, I didn't change my dinner, but I stayed with my dinner, which was portion control. That's where that HelloFresh, because son, we get it for 4 people. Now listen, it's just me and Meg. I was eating at night for 3 people and leave her 1. What happens now is I eat for 1, she eats for 1, and we both have leftovers. Now you say, Scab, I've seen you cut cheeseburger. You have. You see me cut a sandwich every day, so bear with me. We've got our dinner portion control. We've got our breakfast. We've gone from 4,000 calories to about 150, and it's okay. I'm not dying. I'm going to make it to lunch, right? By the time I get to lunch, at that time, I was having a triple cheese, nacho fries, and 3 chocolate chip cookies. So I got my breakfast set. I got my dinner set. And now that I'm making these changes, again, the mentality, why not? I can do this. And then I thought, you know what, dude? Something at lunch has got to go. That ain't going to make it. Who cares if you cut a sandwich for content? So what I started doing was I was going to Wendy's. I cut the chocolate chip cookies out first. Those were 410 calories each. So that was 1,200 calories in cookies, dude. So I'm like, let me cut those first. I'm still doing the burgers, still doing the fries. I'm still doing my afternoon snacking. But I'm changing things one at the time. You see what we're doing? So lunch might have taken the longest to adjust because I cut out the hamburger and I cut out the nacho fries. And what we started doing was getting 2 baked potatoes and medium chili. Now that's a lot of food. But I'd put my 2 baked potatoes together. I'd cover it with chili and I would eat that. No cookies. Or I would go to Jimmy John's and I would get a combo meal because the caloric intake there was pretty close. Not really the sodium from the chips at Jimmy John's. So what began to happen is because Wendy's is fast food, and as fast food does, there might be days they don't have baked potatoes or chili or salad or whatever. And some days I would also get a Caesar salad with chicken and a baked potato, right? Trying to eat a little cleaner. But again, not trying to sell you. This is so important for y'all to understand from me. I'm not trying to tell you this is the way to go. It's what I did. And if you really look at it, all I did was took it meal by meal and made changes. I eventually wound up at Jimmy John's because it was easier to eat and get back to work. Now, what happens with me is I am a creature of habit. So when I started going to Jimmy John's, I'd get a sandwich, I'd get the chips, and I got that cookie. They had the best cookie on the planet. And I'm like, really, dude? But here's me. If I just withhold from myself, there'll come a time, son, I go off the range. If I would have not gotten that 1 cookie a day, I would have waited and just exploded on about 5 cookies a day until I looked like a balloon. So this is what I said. Okay, I'm cutting the chips. I'm going to do the sandwich and the cookie. Knowing full well at some point that cookie had to go. That's the other thing I want y'all to understand. We're doing this gradually. We're taking things out gradually, but we're doing it at our own pace. I was able to do that because I have a wife who loves me, who cares about me. And I knew that if I had not run her off by staying out, staying high, getting fired from every job I had, just being a raggedy piece of shit, I knew if she'd stayed through all that, she wasn't about to leave me now if I had started showing improvements. And I wanted to do that as much for her as for me. And I want you to understand something. They say you can't love your loved one if you don't love yourself. Bullshit. I hated myself and still loved her with all my heart. What I'm telling you is I had a person who supported me. I don't know that she believed I would stick with it. She's been with me. Remember that. She's gone through the hell. You guys get to see old funny scab. She's lived with the bullshit. Once I started making real progress, she was blown away by it. And her love and her support let me do it. It's important that I shout her out for that. But now, here's what happened. I had my sandwich and my cookie. All right. So I said, okay, lunch is set, sandwich and cookie. And instead of making deals, instead of justifying, when I quit doing drugs, guys, I made up in my mind I would never in my life justify anything again. So I said to myself, when this cookie's gone, it's seasonal. Your ass is done with cookies. Okay. When that cookie's gone, that's why y'all just see me with a sandwich. Every day I go, if I'm not taking leftovers from the HelloFresh, I do that a couple days. I go get my sub. That's all I have. I might have a pickle with it. I have a drink and I have my sub. Again, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm going to get through this and I'm going to explain some things to you on the back end. That left my afternoon snack. This was gradual. This wasn't snatch everything away. I would have never done it. I didn't do keto. I didn't do paleo. I didn't do carnivore. I didn't take Ozempic. I'm not against any of it and I'm not judgmental. I just knew for me, I couldn't do that. I knew I wasn't that disciplined. I knew if I did any of those things, and they work. We've seen them work time and time and time again. But I knew one, if I took any kind of medication to lose weight, I would be on it till I'm dead. That's my mentality. And I didn't want to do that. I knew if I did one of these diets, because I'm not that disciplined, as soon as I came off, I'd balloon back up. This was the only way I could do it. So I didn't, if I was doing something, I kept doing it until I got to it. So I've gone from dinner to breakfast to lunch, afternoon snack. I'm still, and if you really listen to what I'm saying, you can see how I was so large. I ate. In the afternoons, I would stop. I'd get like a bag of Cheetos, maybe a couple hot dogs, maybe some beef jerky. And once I fixed lunch, I was already looking towards the snack. And I'm going, what are you doing, dude? You're making all these changes. Stop. And then in my mind, listen, my mindset had already started changing. And so instead of hiding it, I came home and I said, Meg, this is what's going on. But my afternoons, this is what I'm eating on the way home. Instead of being judgmental, instead of getting like, she said, okay, babe, would you eat vegetables? Would you eat fruit? I said, yeah. So she said, let's do this. So not only does she cook, not only does she clean, not only does she work with cancer patients, and by the way, a lot of those patients die. She takes the time to cut up my damn fruit, cut up my veggies. Now, I do it some days, but she does that so I can do this. You understand? So when I'm up here joking around, you can think what you want of me, but don't you ever think that I'm not appreciative, because I am. She's the one person on this planet who has say of what goes on this channel. That's another video. But so we started doing cucumbers. I love cucumbers, dude. And we started doing like cherries or pears or plums or something. We just cut it up. And instead of the crap at the store, I have fresh fruit and I have vegetables. I still do that. Then when I get home, I eat. So I cut out about 6,000 to 7,000 calories, seriously, and cut that in half. Now, here's what I want to encourage you, because people are saying, Scab, what are you doing? I got to about 278. I was ecstatic. But I said to Meg, again, I said, Meg, I'm losing weight, but I still can't move. If something were to happen during the night, I can't move. Now, I'm walking. I want y'all to understand, I'm walking, and in that hour, I'm getting about 2.5 miles. That's about, I've got a slow gait. I know that's not impressive, but it's time, right? And I said, even though I'm walking, and even though I'm losing weight, if something happened in the middle of the night, she said, babe, let's do yoga. I said, okay. She said, huh? I said, let's try it. Why not? It goes back to the mentality. Again, with the HelloFresh, it's the mentality. Why not try something else? Let me encourage a lot of you guys, because I've got a lot of guys that are disabled. I've got a lot of guys that have a lot of weight. I've got a lot of guys that struggle, that watch this channel. Let me encourage you. Take it one meal at a time, one step at a time. I knew, and let me say this. So I had my meal set, right? I was snacking healthy in the afternoon. We were doing a dinner, and the dinner is not super healthy. What I've done is I lost 85 to 90 pounds in about 10 months. So I don't have the loose skin. I do the yoga. I started feeling great, started feeling better. I'd go to bed, slept great. I was getting up. I was still a little stiff. So I found a video that I'm going to put in the description from Tone and Tighten. It is basic. It's 8 minutes from start to finish. That's what I do every single morning of my life. So let me walk you through. I know some of this is redundant, but I want to explain it to you so that it may help you. Because you don't need some superstar attitude where you're just, oh man, do I feel great? No. I'm 53 years old, a former drug addict. I'm getting back to life. I feel good. I feel better. I feel like I'm not going to fall over any moment with a heart attack. The great will come as the weight comes. And basically all I've done, guys, all I've done is this. I've gotten myself to a point and a place where I've got to make some more tweaks. I would like to drop down to about 200 pounds. I'm right between 235 and 237. I'd like to get about 200. Here's what I do. I'm going to put videos in the description. You're welcome to check them out or use your own. But I do a basic stretch from Tone and Tighten. That's 8 minutes. He has a core workout that's 6 minutes. Both are basic. Okay. I get up. I do that. When I get up, I pee. I come in here and I do that. Then I brush my teeth. Then I take my meds. But that stretching is important. It's 14 minutes, start to finish. That's it. If you don't have time in the morning, get up 15 minutes earlier. And let me say this to you about, here's how you'll know when you're ready. When you quit making excuses and you just say to hell with it, man, I got to do something. Because listen, I was that guy. I'll eat what I want. I'm a hardworking guy. I'm this, I'm that. I'm Billy Bad. No, you're a fat ass that wanted to justify everything. I had to look at myself in the mirror and go, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You've settled for bullshit. Sometimes you have to come to Jesus with yourself. That's got nothing to do with religion. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror and go, dude, I'm sick of this shit. It ain't about all this alpha bullshit you see on Instagram. It ain't about being a man. It's about taking care of yourself and doing the right thing. Have I failed? Yes. Have I stumbled? Yes. That's where I've also implemented my never quit quitting. There have been times, in the past 2 weeks, I stopped and got a box of vanilla mini wafers of all things. I have done good for 8, 9, 10 months. And son, I got me a couple boxes of them, and I had to go. Whereas before I just said, man, screw this. I'm just not meant to do this. I was like, dude, it's okay. Just stop. Just stop. Let me encourage you. If you want to reach out through the comments, I can help. Again, I'm not saying this is some super healthy way. I'm not knocking cardio or paleo. I'm not knocking any of the diets. I'm not knocking Ozempic. I'm not knocking, had somebody tell me, Matthew Jensen was like, dude, why don't you use weightlifting? Because from the time I was 12 years old to the time I was 45, I lifted weights. I know Gary Frank. I had dinner with him. You can Google him. I know Dexter Jackson. He's a friend of mine. I've done all of that. In a bench press meet, I benched 525, I think, squatted 800 and pulled 7. I've done all of that. I know my body. I don't want to be big anymore. You guys don't know that because, again, you've seen one chapter of my life. The reason I don't talk a lot about it on here is because when I was blown up like a bullfrog, I didn't want to be that guy. And to be honest with you, looking back at when I was in shape was a hurtful reminder of failure because I let myself go that far. I didn't wake up one day with some supercharged attitude, you can do it. No, I woke up sick and tired of myself. No secret. One of Megan's coworkers' wife, John and Miss Shelley, we went to lunch with a couple weeks ago, and I'll end it with this. We went to lunch a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about weight loss. And she said, what have you had to sacrifice? It was a phenomenal question because for the first time in these 10 months, it hit me. I haven't sacrificed a thing. Everything that I've done willingly, and I've done in my own time. That's why I say anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. Because you're not going to do it overnight. I didn't want to do the fast drop stuff too, because here's what I knew. I knew for me to drop a shit ton of weight fast, like to drop 50 pounds in 3 months, I would have to do something extreme that I could not maintain for the rest of my life. So what I did was, and it's cliche as hell, but it's true as hell, I made a lifestyle switch. I can live like I'm living right now, eat like I'm eating right now for the rest of my life. And that's my plan. Why? Because I enjoy it. On Saturdays, Megatron and I will go have us a sandwich. We get a sandwich and we get a bowl of pasta salad, and we split a piece of cheesecake. That's what we do. Whereas before I'd have had my own piece, she would have ate half of hers, I'd have ate mine and her. When we go to a restaurant, we split our dessert. It's little things. I haven't sacrificed anything that I wasn't ready to give up. And that's what I want to encourage you. If you're struggling, go meal by, don't try to do everything at once. You won't do it. How many times have you done that and you failed? Don't fall for dumbass gimmicks online. Don't fall for these clowns online that all you got to do is, they're actors. They're all paid actors. Every last damn one of them. There are reputable people out there that you can, but if you got anybody that wants to throw you a gimmick about you don't have to, you can eat what you want, that's bullshit. It's a gimmick. Find reputable people. Let me encourage you to do that. Again, I just wanted to share this with you. I hope it helps. It's helped me. I want to thank every one of you for staying this long, staying tuned. But I want to thank you more than that for supporting me in this journey. I'm always going to have naysayers. I have a video that's taken off now, or a short taken off now, about the world's most deadly knife or some shit. Most of the comments are about my eyes. And one guy was like, hey man, y'all are messing with this guy's eyes. I'm like, dude, it's okay. At first it was my weight, and then it's my eyes. Next, it'll be my teeth. I about don't have any. It's always going to be something. But for all of you who've rode with me, thank you. I appreciate you. One last quick time. I have a portion controlled dinner. I do not eat past 8 o'clock. I walk for an hour every night. I get up in the morning, I do my stretching, and I do my core exercise. Videos will be in the description. I have a slim fast. I eat a moderate lunch. I have fruit and vegetables for a snack, and that's my day. That's it. You can do this, guys. Look at what I would encourage you to do is get you a notebook like this. Last thing, get you a notebook like this. Don't show a soul except yourself. Because if you try to show somebody else, you're going to lie. Take 2 days. What's the difference in starting a day in 2 days? Take 2 days and write down what you're actually eating. Find you somebody to be accountable to. Look at this. Once you look at this, let me end it like this. This channel doesn't do politics, religion, or her. We don't. But I heard a comment from a guy one time that I thought was one of the best, and really it was one of those transformative moments. He said, if you need to make a change in your life, if you're at your lowest, if you're just struggling, tonight when you go to bed, sit on the edge of your bed before you go to sleep and think to yourself, what if I changed something, it would make all the difference in the world. Think about what there is that you can change. You haven't yet, but you can, that would make a huge difference. Before he got done with the statement, I said, it's my weight. I knew what it was. It was my weight. That started the process, but I couldn't take off with it until I was ready. That's how I've lost my weight. I hope it helps. I hope it's encouraging to you, but I do want you to know you don't have to have $1 million. You don't have to have surgery. You don't have to have a trainer. You just have to be to where you need to be mentally. I love you. God knows I do. God bless you. I hope he does. I'm Scab. You're not. And I'm gone, son. Good luck to y'all.